Hey gang, Spada here, and today we are taking a look at Transformers Prime Entertainment Pack. Now this contains the deluxe class of Megatron and Optimus Prime from this line, along with Raph, Guy, and Annoying Girl. I'm sorry, I have a cold and I can't think of their names for the life of me. Now, I do find it funny, there's a big blue sticker here. I wonder what that was from. Anyway, big thank you to my Twitter follower, Dogcades, because I would not have gotten this set without his help. He is from Canada, and you know what? Canada is full of plenty of nice people, no matter how many jokes we make about them. But a big thank you, man, for my friend. Without you, I would not have these figures. So let's go ahead and open the box and take a look what's inside. And here we have Megatron and Optimus Prime out of their packaging. Now, you might note that Optimus Prime is the same exact version of Prime that we got in the San Diego Comic-Con figure that I reviewed earlier in 2011. Now, that's not to say it's a bad figure by any means. Its coloring is a little bit different, and the white has been replaced by gray, and the coloring on this on the Prime figure pop a little bit more. But the real star of the show for the set for me is the Megatron figure. It is quite nice looking, though it does have a few issues. But where are the kids? Oh, the kids are fine. Never mind. Now, as I said before, the Prime figure is exactly the same to what we got at the San Diego Comic-Con. That's not a bad thing, because that figure is very, very cool. The same issues, I still have the same issues with this figure that I had before. Specifically, the arms, they just don't work for me because of the way the hands are positioned in the figure. Just doesn't look right. And overall, the figure looks a little off. And what I mean by that is, you've got all of this backpack, and then you've got all this stuff hanging on the forearms. That's my chief issue, is it just isn't quite there, unlike the Voyager class figure, which is nearly perfect, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Actually, that'll be another review. So, poseability on this guy is exactly the same. You've got ball joints in the wrist, bending joint here on the elbow, swivel joint just above the elbow, swivel joint on the shoulder, and an in and out joint. Head is on a limited ball joint, but part of the transformation allows him to look up a little bit. There is a little bit of movement in the torso. Hip is a ball joint, swivel joint at the thigh, bending joint at the knee, and then the feet are on a limited set of ball joints and swivel joints. So you can get some good poses. And I like the gun. I just wish the gun was black, not gray. Just a preference. I know in the show he's got a gray gun, and it looks good because it pretty much covers up his entire arm, which it does in the show. He really doesn't hold a gun. It's more of a, hey, I've got these guns protruding from my arms now. Transformation for this guy is exactly the same as the deluxe class version that I've talked about. So pop the shoulders apart, combine them together, take the hands and fold them up while moving the truck bits up and into place. And combine them together. Drop that whole section down while at the same time rotating everything forward. And then start unfolding the back, allowing you to turn and move the legs. And then we just continue from here. Overall, the truck mode is really quite nice for a deluxe class figure. It doesn't look bad at all, and it has some nice paint apps, specifically the gradation here and the silver we've got going on here at the kick plate, and then this nice silver stripe up top. That's something that the Voyager class figure doesn't actually have, which is surprising. Oh, and then the headlights. So overall, I do like this. I do like this figure, but I've seen it before, and that takes away some of the specialness of it for me. So overall, this is a good figure, and I'm glad I have it. I think it's a great counterbalance to Megatron. And speaking of Megatron, Megatron kick! As we move on to Megatron, I do want to say that this is a nice figure. There are a few problems with it, but we'll get into that in a minute. Though, overall, it's a really good-looking figure, especially in robot mode. This guy just looks Megatron. I mean, it hits the Megatron on every level. He does have a little bit of a backpack, though, and I really haven't found a great way to mitigate this. Now, what I've done here is a little bit of a kind of turn things around and get things out of the way. Normally, the way it's displayed is you've got this centerpiece is normally resting up against the back like this. Unfortunately, it just gets in the way. Everything gets in the way. There's no way to get all of this to lie flat or flush. So what I do is I flip it down as much as it'll go, and then I kind of do a little bit of a breaky and kind of just slide and flip these back parts up against his back and allow this part to fold up into his back cavity. That's just the way I do it, specifically to allow just the figure to look better. Now, you might not want to do that, and I might be doing it wrong, but that's just what I do. Poseability for this guy is really good. Arm is on a ball joint. There is a swivel joint just above the elbow, and the elbow bends at 90 degrees. And then he's got an extra joint thanks to the transformation in the forearm. Hands are on very limited joints. Head is on a very limited ball joint due to the head sculpt, which we'll talk about in a second. Legs are on a ball joint. Then there is a swivel joint just above the knee, and the knee bends at 90 degrees. And there's really not any movement in the feet, but you can, part of the transformation, collapse the feet in a little bit. Now the head is really, really nice. This is a Megatron head. Hot dog, look at that head sculpt. I mean, dang, that is definitely a Megatron head sculpt. Probably the best Megatron we've ever gotten, toy-wise, that is. Now that we've taken a look at the figure almost, let's go ahead and take a look at his weapon. As you can see, it does comfortably sit on his right arm like a fusion cannon should, and the fusion cannon itself looks nice. It's nice and purple, looks exactly like it does in the show. It does have one weird gimmick, though. He can hold it for some reason. I don't know why Megatron would ever hold his fusion cannon, but okay. It's a little silly, but okay. Anyway, so we have to take the fusion cannon off for the transformation. And the transformation is actually very complex. I am very surprised at this transformation. First thing we're going to do is unpeg the back. Now, a lot of people have had an issue with the back of Megatron. The fact that it comes unpegged very easily. Yes, it does, but my figure seems to hold steady pretty well. I can move the arms as much as I want, and it really doesn't come unpegged all that much. But, like my friend Optimus, his back just flops around. I'm lucky, mine doesn't do that. So we will return the back to the way it's supposed to be, and then fold the entire back up like that. Then fold the arms straight back thusly, and like that. And then turn the forearms such that the forearms are pointing to each other, and peg them in together. And then they will fold back like this. We'll just repeg them. And there we have the part of the rear of the vehicle mode. Next, we'll come to the top back part here, and just get it such that these panels are down, and this panel is just kind of hovering above the robot head. Then we'll take the hip and kind of slide it forward, thus bringing the entire chest forward in front of the robot head. And you're supposed to unpeg this this section and flip it up, but it doesn't do anything. There's no reason to pop it up like that. One cool thing is, that kind of looks like the Decepticon logo. I do dig that. So when you pop that up, then you can take the chest plates and fold them forward. And then once we've got all that moved up, we can take this top section and fold it right over the robot head. I'll talk about that in a little bit. So then we take these sections here and fold them and collapse them back towards the figure, and they will actually snap into place. So I don't know if you can see the little bit. You just snap it into place, push it forward like that. Then take the legs and put them such that they're sticking straight out like that. And push the hips all the way up under the vehicle mode. Turn the legs, and there is a small little peg right here on the outside of the arms that pegs right into the bottom of the feet, or the back of the legs, and then just kind of fold the feet up. And whenever I do this and try to push these pegs in, everything comes undone. So just kind of bear with it and just get everything pegged into place. And when you do that, you will be able to peg the back panels have these little bits sticking off. Those peg into the ankles, or just above where the ankles of the robot mode are. And like I said, everything just keeps coming unpegged. Just peg everything back together when you can. That's just probably my biggest frustration with this figure, is that everything just doesn't want to stay together for some reason. Now, I have probably done something wrong or offended some toy god somewhere, but my figure just does not like to stay pegged together. And there we go. Then take the thruster and peg it into this one spot up here. And here we have Megatron's, the vehicle mode. At least according to the directions. Because the directions, which I have right here, show all of those steps. The very last step of the vehicle mode is that. You know what that reminds me of? That makes me think of something from F-Zero. For those of you who don't know, F-Zero is a racing game, first shown on the Super Nintendo, and then on the GameCube. It hasn't been seen since, unfortunately. But it really makes me think of like a little ground racer thing. But if you look at the directions again, you notice the directions have him with wings, as opposed to, the steps that the directions show. That's the final step. So, to get the wings deployed, the wings are actually part of his legs. And you might have been wondering, what are these off-colored bits right here that were on his legs? Well, those are actually hinges. So, what you can do is just reach under here. There is a panel line going along the back of the leg. So reach under that and pull, and that will take the entire inside of the leg. You will be able to fold that entire inside of the leg up and then out like that. And then you come underside of that panel. You fold out these wing tips. And they are a little small, even for my fingers, so you might need a small pair of scissors or something. Or if you've got longish nails, that's fine too. I really don't have longish nails. And then there's a peg hole right there that will peg onto. It doesn't always want to peg on there, so you kind of have to just line it up and kind of just wiggle it on there. Or you could just let it sit like that. there we have the proper vehicle mode. And I really like this vehicle mode. It's not perfect by any means, but I kind of dig it, and it's a good representation of Megatron's vehicle mode in the show. Now, a lot of fans who don't like, hey, I can see the robot mode and the vehicle mode, are going to hate this. And yeah, I kind of agree. I really do wish they maybe put an extra piece of plastic over it or something like that. But think about it. It's Megatron. He wants to watch the devastation. So it does make sense on some level. Overall, though, this is an awesome figure. A few minor gripes here and there, but overall, it's a great set. I mean, these two guys together really work. I think this is a great deluxe class figure, and I think this is a great deluxe class figure. Now, unfortunately, I had to go to Canada. I had to crowdsource to Canada in order to get this set. So you might have to do the same, or you might have to get it from online at a slightly unreasonable markup. That might be the only way you're going to get a hold of these guys. Hopefully, they will release these deluxe class figures later. I don't know. But I would say, definitely pick these guys up. If you haven't picked up a Prime yet, this is a good Prime. This is a good Megatron to have as well. So, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this review. Like it, subscribe, do all that jazz, leave a comment, and I'll catch you next time.